Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Thin Line Outdoors. It's Alex and Barry again. Today we're going to be talking about the LMF knife. So Alex, why don't you introduce us to the knife?
Alright folks, what I got in my hand is a Gerber LMF II. This is a 10-inch military survival knife. That's at least what it's categorized as. We're going to take it out here and take a look at some of the specs here. The first thing I want to talk about this knife is the fact that it's not full tang, which is a good thing usually. Outdoors enthusiasts want to look for in a utility knife like this.
So explain what full tang means.
Full tang means the blade's going to go through the handle and all the way to the bottom, so that you've got one piece of metal in your hand basically. This is a little different as the butt cap, which is actually a striking pommel, is separated from the tang. I mean, it's definitely secured on there as well, but it's going to prevent damage to the blade from shock when you hit something with this pommel, which is going to be a good thing.
Right. So
moving on, over the tang we have a rubberized textured grip, which is really good. It's comfortable. It stays in the hand well. I got nothing bad to say about this.
That's a patented thing that Gerber does, isn't it?
Gerber has the gator texture. That's kind of their thing. Puts them above and beyond everybody else.
So
this
blood,
knife, right?
Blood, mud, sweat. It's going to stay in your hand.
It's not going to come out of your hand.
Right.
And that's what I love about this knife. This knife was invented by a guy named Jeff Freeman, however many years ago, who designed it for air crewmen. When their plane would go down, they'd have to have a way to cut it out of their seat belt, break through a window, cut through metal. Whatever it took to get out of that plane alive, they needed a tool that would do it for them. That's what the LMF was designed for. Moving on from the pommel and the grip, we'll talk about the blade. It's a drop point blade, a really good quality steel in this blade. It's been sharp for as long as I've had it. In January of 2008, Gerber quit making it out of the 12C27 steel, which is a military grade steel. It's going to go through frost, heat, whatever you can throw at it, it's going to hold through. I believe they ran it over with a tank one time in a video I've seen. In 2008 they started making out of 420HC steel, which is a cheaper, similar steel to the previous.
But it adds the chromium in there that allows for the kind of a better resistance for day-to-day use in a field area.
Right, it's more practical basically. Right. The blade has about, 2 inches of serrations right here, which is good for cutting rope.
Steak, bacon, cheese.
You know, the important stuff.
Yeah.
Bear's going to talk a little about the sheath that this knife comes with.
Okay, so I got the sheath here, and I know a lot of people are probably looking at this right now and they're like, that's a lot of stuff, and it is. So when you talk about hiking, every ounce counts and stuff like that. In the Army, there's a saying, you pack it, you carry it. So if you're willing to carry this, which I am and he is and most of our people are, it's worth the wait. Now let me explain why it's worth the wait. So you'll notice the first thing is strapped back here, and you'll notice that on Alex doesn't have one. Where's yours at, Alex?
I have no idea because I've never used it and I ended up losing it.
So this is your leg strap, right? So I prefer to wear this as a leg holster. When we don't have our rucksacks on, Alex will usually have this at the base of his back through his belt holes with these MOLLE clips here.
Scout style.
Scout style on the lower back. So me personally, I keep it on my leg right here, as I usually wear a chest rig, so my weapon is up here. I don't have to worry about losing my hip for the weapon. So, but it makes it very user-friendly, excuse me. It allows me to carry this without having any problems and have it at my hand at all times. Inside of this little loop down here, you'll find this Velcro strap, and you'll notice it's got some Velcro on it that keeps it in place so you don't have to worry about it moving around on your leg. It's going to stay where you put it. Really quick, you take that off, and you've got 3 pieces of Velcro that hold it in place, and then you have this piece here that's the actual sheath itself. And it's got that same kind of gator rubber that Gerber's so famous for covering it, which makes it good to hold on to. And this is what's actually going to hold the knife, okay? Now the way this is made is it doesn't matter which way you put the knife in, it's going to be just fine. You're going to be able to carry it. So if you carry it on your left or right, you're going to be able to switch it around really easy. But more importantly, it's going to stay. There's no way that this knife is going to come out of here unless you actually take it out of here. And you can actually hear when I put it in, it's going to lock in place.
It's definitely a strong point to this sheath is you have great retention on this piece of plastic right there. And that's not going anywhere.
I love the wide mouth. It allows me to, without looking down, be able to put that knife in there. So if I'm in a tactical situation where maybe I pulled my knife out and now I need to go to a bigger use of force, like a weapon of choice, like my Glock, then I can put this back in here while still maintaining eyesight on the thing or the person that I'm going after, and defending myself from, and be able to put it back without having to look. So a nice open mouth, locks in place, lets me know it's there. On this, it's really cool. It's got a nice standard, nothing special about the knife sharpener, but it does have a knife sharpener built into it, which is really good. The only downfall to this is you have to take this off the entire sheath in order to get to that. So you're not sharpening your knife until you're back at camp and you're taking your stuff apart and you're kind of reassessing your gear. But it is a good sharpener, and you don't need to sharpen this knife a lot. A couple passes through there, you're right back into cutting bacon and getting to food. So, and you know me and food, so that's where we're at with that. Nice sheath. All in all, we just checked Amazon as of today, and how much was it?
$120 as of today,
$120
December 2016.
So $120, and you got a knife that is ready to use. And guys, if $120 sounds steep to you for a knife right now, Gerber does make a Bear Grylls version of this knife. Now, as far as the metal and all that, we'll get into that on another video and kind of compare and contrast those knives. But they do make a knife, and I think that one runs about $50 or $60, if I remember.
Right, yeah.
So it's about half the price. So if you're not ready to dish out $120, then there's another knife that Gerber makes that's going to be more up your route, and you could still get a very similar knife, very similar tang, same gator rubber on it. Anything else you want to add about the knife?
Well, it's important to notice that when I bought this knife, and I believe when Bear bought his, it was $60.
Right.
These knives are taken off. They're super popular. They're not breaking on people.
Right.
They're just being used. Hunting, combat, rescue, whatever you need it for. The Gerber LMF II is good to go. When do you say we take these outside and run them through some tests?
That sounds good. We'll see you guys in the field.